kind of like the animals. It's got a path that it goes back and forth.
And welcome to our flight today. We're flying with
Would have been better if
Texas
they had
prop
it bobbing
groups
up and down like
on
with
Capt
the waves
Carls.
on the ship.
Actually, if you look at it when it's close to you, I've been watching it sitting here where I'm parked over here near the end of the runway, watching it go by. And the ship actually, they've got, it will bobble a little bit like it's on a wave occasionally. It's like a kind of a random type thing, although maybe that's what you would want a ship to do.
Oh.
So the bow does kind of move up and down a little bit on it with the waves. It's kind of cool.
Going over there to check it out.
You cannot land on it, by the way. Don't give any thoughts to thinking you can. You'll fall through it. I did that last night. You cannot land on it. Not doable.
Just load it in the game. Wait, can you load your file in when you're in the game? I think if you hit pause.
Well, maybe. Because for that particular folder, yes, you probably can. Because you're actually doing that as a file entry. It's not like it's in your community. So that one you can probably add the file in on your computer and then load it. But yeah, you've got to load it at the world map though.
So you have to step out of the 4 conditions, general, you got to go all the way back to the world map.
Well, it wouldn't help because I just loaded in the wrong damn freaking airport.
Yeah, we're loading in here at PTPN, Papa Tango, Papa Nancy. Although if you load that particular flight plan, you don't even have to tell the game where you need to be. The flight plan will have it.
No.
Don't mind me, just cutting you off.
Yeah, I see you up there, Beaver.
Oh, is this not you at the front?
Actually, I might as well be in the back. After what happened to me last night, I was one of the last. Actually, it was me and Ernest who were last. No, who was the last one was Legend, who actually landed.
Legend flew past and had to come back in.
Yeah, Legend came too high and he had to do a circuit and come around. And if you don't come down at about the right time, yeah, you'll overfly your landing strip and have to make, and that thing, when you make a circuit, it's a huge circuit.
Yeah, I can dive down about 50 to 100 miles from max altitude to 10,000.
Oh wow. See where we're. How are we somehow using a VOR with this thing?
We're not.
AYGN is the airport identifier. Yeah, something don't seem right.
Yeah, the reason why you want to load this thing in on the from the world map is so you can see the magenta line in your airplane, because otherwise it's really hard to know
Yeah, but I think
where you
I
are.
don't think this is correct though. This flight plan.
Boat just turned around. It's pretty cool.
AYGN, right? Is that where we're taking off?
No,
it's a destination.
we're landing
Completely
there.
Different. Okay, this is the second one. That's why. All right, hold on.
Yeah, you want 60. And then once we land, you're going to do 60 alpha. You probably loaded 60 alpha. 60 alpha takes off at AYGN. Yeah, today we have 2 magenta lines. It's because we can't do VORs in between those mountains in New Guinea. Oh yeah, we're getting up towards. Oh, we don't have to. Today we're not going to have to worry about. We're not going to run over. Actually, we spend the most time in our in the 208 today is what we're going to be.
Claims it's going to take 5 minutes to get there.
Yeah, this time with the flight that we're doing with the Darkstar, it's not going to take us as long to get there. It's like half the distance that we flew from the last flight.
I've got to leave in about 75 minutes, so.
This flight we'll be in New Guinea within a half an hour, I think. Once we're ready to go. All I gotta do, let's see here, release my parking brake, get into position, and in fact, I could be in the back like I said, the way it worked for me, I don't necessarily need to be in the front.
Yeah, with
I
this
was
thing,
one of
I
the-
remember you just pretty much take off and get on heading, and then you just keep going up until you get to like what is it like? Forget the altitude where you can enable the scram.
The scram will not come on until we get to about 60,000.
Yeah, I probably should put 100% fuel. That would probably be smart.
Yeah, I would, because you still could run out of gas.
All right.
And there are a couple of ways you can get, if you want to be the first guy to get to scram, there's a couple of ways you can do that. In fact, in this
There you go.
case, you could take off with
I don't think so.
afterburner.
I'm just rolling. I got plenty of runway. I don't need that much to take off.
Yeah, well, let's rock and roll and get out of here. Let's do this.
You like a rock and roll?
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, this thing's a beast.
Captain's off the runway.
Yeah, I'm off the runway, all right.
It looks like we got
At least I missed the fence.
Yeah, what is it, a right turn? Yep.
Yep, it's a hard right. Don't forget your gear.
You're up.
I think everybody likes this Darkstar, Captain.
Oh, I think it's fun. And the fact that it kills me almost every other flight, there is a little challenge to this
It
thing.
gives Captain an adrenaline rush. You gotta find out whether he's gonna die or not. Oh dear.
Is there a way to like enable this thing on like GPS or something, or?
No.
If you're talking about a autopilot, But this thing, you find if you pull it up, if you climb too fast, you may stall it, and then have to come back down again. You want to be moving, get up there to 20,000 feet, and well, no, it's actually 32,000. You get to 32,000,
too
level
high.
it off.
Too high of high attitude with this thing.
It seems to me you want about an 8-degree up bubble, and if you're seeing somewhere between 10 and 20, you're going up too fast.
I'm close enough to the magenta line. I'll make my way there eventually.
Yeah, I really think this thing's hard to kind of get like perfectly sometimes.
Oh yeah, but that's the joy of flying this thing. There actually is a little bit of skill involved with using it. Which all the airliner guys that are flying the Phoenix, they won't like this thing because of that.
They probably don't even know how to fly this thing.
No, a lot of guys don't. They don't even know how to. They don't know how to get it into.
And dive in.
And I just absolutely nose-tied the hell out of this thing.
Don't die.
And depending on how things go, today's flight may be the potentially the last time that we're actually going to use this.
Except for next Friday.
No, actually, oh yes, that's true, next Friday. But I think this may be the last one that we're going to wind up going with it. Although everybody seems to like it, so I could, there is one place we might use it when we leave Japan. There is one hop that we have to make that's pretty long. Otherwise, we have to land in Russia. So we have a choice. We either land in the Soviet Union or we do a Darkstar and go around it. We could do either.
Get a MiGs and fly on in.
Here we go, level out time. It's time to start working on Scram.
I'm working on it.
I don't know how you guys accelerated so much. I think it's because I was too high and I
I'm
was trying
also
to gain too much
6 hours ahead of
altitude.
you guys.
Alright, 32,000 right there.
There we go, I broke Mach 1.
Uh-oh, Captain. I've been over Mach 1. I'm about to hit Mach 2.
Oh, Beaver's gonna be the first one
There's
into
Mach
New
2.
Guinea.
There's Mach 2, 30,000 feet.
Alright, let's see. So 32, engage the
Where's
afterburner.
Captain? I don't see Captain.
Yeah, at 32,000, engage your afterburner, hold her level. Hold her level,
Yeah, I already
brake,
know where the
and
afterburner
get
is.
up to, you need, oh, you've got actually, one of the
Captain?
buttons on the stick you can do. Anybody know what button it is?
Nope. Hey, Captain, I got news for you. 40,000 feet, beep, 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 boom. I'm transitioning.
Bye, Beaver.
Bye-bye, guys.
I'm pretty sure afterburner is programmed in manually.
Here comes Scramjet, fully
I'm not
enabled.
even too sure. I'm like just
55,000.
leveled out here.
But
And
no,
I'm on.
there is a key for afterburner, and I bound a key to it.
See you guys later. I'm hitting Mach 5 in about
I
an
had to
hour.
come back down again. My speed dropped below Mach 1.
Indicator.
Uh-oh.
Had to
Might have
come
to
back
look it up.
down.
I'm losing my magenta line, but I'm at Mach 0.6, Mach 6.5, almost. This Mach 6.5.
Now we can call New Guinea and order the crash truck for Beaver.
I might completely miss it.
Nobody
I'm
else
way out.
knows what the key is?
For what?
Afterburner?
It's not bound. You'll have to go. You can go into keyboard options and bind it. You can bind it to a key on your keyboard. There is no key that's bound for it. I went in on my joystick and
Yeah.
bound a button on my joystick for it.
How long's the runway we're supposed to be landing on, Captain?
I could probably tell you. It's decent. It's not that bad. The runway's 5,547 feet. So we'll order a crash truck for you, Beaver.
Did you say 1,000 or 5,000?
5.
Okay.
But
okay.
5,000 when you're coming in at 100 knots is not much. You're gonna need to get that airplane on the ground pretty quick. Like, you can't goof around overflying the runway at 200 knots.
I wonder, maybe M is a good key to bind.
Boy, I don't know.
I wonder what all these other guys have it bound to.
Most people probably put it on a controller.
That's what I did.
I'm at,
The only way I can tell you, and that takes a lot of effort, is you can search, go to the keyboard setting,
Here,
and
hold
you could search for every key on your keyboard.
What, hey, controller guy, what did you put it, what key? I have mine out.
On controller, I put mine. I've got 2 trigger buttons. I used one of the trigger buttons to get it for me.
Yeah, I did one to my
Hey.
button on my throttle.
give it a second.
Yeah, because on the keyboard, there's not many keys that aren't used. I would suggest using something that is bound to maybe one of your external camera views or something you never use.
And I'm at max.
Oh, there we go.
Max altitude 9.98.
I think I got it.
I'm in Scram. I'm coming for you, Beaver.
I'm like 300 miles ahead of
It
you guys.
just blew me.
5,157 knot ground speed.
I am on my way. Here I
Yeah, whoever
go.
told me the trigger, every time you hit the trigger, it's like the rudder essentially, but I got it going.
You got it into Scram?
Yeah, I did, but it's funny because again, whoever had it in, whoever said they used their triggers, they must have had to reconfigure it because the rudder is pretty much that on the controller.
What,
Well, I
I
see.
think it was DD17 that said that, so.
what system are you using?
PC.
I mean like control system.
Oh, just Xbox controller.
Oh.
I used to see Frosty, but Frosty disappeared. He's ahead of me.
I saw Frosty, and then Frosty said 63,000, and Frosty disappeared from me too.
He
Yeah,
disappeared,
I'm in
and
north.
you guys behind me are now going to disappear very quickly.
Yeah, if Captain sees me, that means he's using a funny key because I'm way ahead.
No funny keys. I'm flying legally.
If you see me, that's bull. Because I'm going 9.9.
Oh, I know how to catch you, Beaver. I've got a key mapped. I could do that.
Yeah, I know. I have my brackets mapped too.
In fact, all I got to do is hit a bracket, one bracket for a couple of seconds, and then put it back, and I will catch you.
I'm like 100 nautical miles away from the 250 nautical mile descent point. I already added my range ring. I see land off in the distance, Captain.
Yeah, this trip is a short trip. I'm probably almost halfway. Once you get into Scram, this goes pretty quick.
Well, I see you guys on the ground. I guess I'm almost there.
The hell's the
I'm
thing like? Give me an
138
issue.
nautical miles off of my magenta line.
Yeah, just be aware that you've got a hard 90-degree turn
Yeah.
to the right when you get down there.
Fuel
And you
cell.
can't do it. Doing it early won't help you. In fact, if anything, you might want to be on the left side of the line when you have to make that 90, because maybe it'll make it easier to get on it. I don't know.
What's the wind at that airport? 'Cause I might not
I
do the
can't
90, I
tell
might go
you
the other way
that.
around.
Well, or can I? Oh, I could. Well, no, I can't. I don't have Navigraph loaded.
Enable Scram. It gives me an error every time I do it.
Are you
What
going
kind of
over
error?
one?
Just it starts beeping at me.
Yeah, did you turn on the power cell?
Power cell.
And the
Yeah,
valve.
the little thing that looks like a 4-paned window next to your stick. Make sure you turn that thing on. That's your fuel cell. If you don't turn on the fuel cell, you can't enable Scram.
I'm curious how I do that.
Captain,
You
I
just
got-
click on it.
Right side of the center console, down by your knees, you'll see 6 dots, RESV.
Yeah.
Small window.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, just click on that little window and light it up. Then you can
currently
press.
over the
Then if you're
Sullivan.
above Mach 3, then you can light your
Well, I can't seem
Scram.
to get this thing like at all moving, cause like I'm at like half. I'm not even at like Mach 1. I'm at like 0.5 Mach.
Oh, you're nowhere close. You got to get over. You got to get to Mach 3.
I don't even know how to. This thing just it doesn't accelerate anymore. I have the afterburner on. It just doesn't do anything.
Okay, what's your altitude?
I'm just ascending. I can't even. I don't understand why this thing just doesn't go up anymore.
How
What
high
is
are
your
you?
altitude?
20,000.
You're at 20,000? Is your
Yeah.
afterburner on?
Yeah, it's on.
Level the bird off. Level the bird off, or try the other thing you can do if you want. Flip the bird upside down, pull back on the stick like you're going to become a lawn dart, and you can then accelerate over Mach 1. But do not have the Scram enable turned on when you do, Because if you're pointed down when that scram comes on, you're just gonna drive yourself. You will be a lawn dart.
I see what you're doing. You just kind of. Yo, God, I'm almost 14,000 feet. Oh shit. Oh God.
Well, rest in peace there.
Welcome to the Darkstar.
I don't even know how to use this damn thing.
Hey, Captain, I'm almost to my 250 nautical mile range ring.
I'm not that far, and I'm not using the funny key trying to catch up.
I'm not. I haven't touched my brain.
Yeah, we're slow moding this thing. All right,
That
let's
won't
go.
work. I don't think that'll work. I think
Oh, it's actually the slew will. If you want to, you can slew it up to maybe 32,000 if you want. Make sure your afterburner's on. Hold her level. She'll go through Mach 1, or you maybe could even slew her up to 60. But
Yeah.
things get weird. If you slew up to 60, your engine 1 and 2 go off.
Ooh, my scram just died. Why is
Yeah,
that?
I'm just pointing nose down right now, pretty much at like 60,000.
The scram will
Slowly
die
starting
if you push down and got your altitude too low. The scram will cut off. I never touch my yoke except for turns. I do not pull or push on the yoke.
I'm descending. There's 250,000 feet.
Yeah, don't worry, Beaver. We'll catch you.
Oh, this is not
Thanks.
good. I just lost my scram.
Thanks for the friendly reminder.
Yeah, if you lose your scram, you do have the capability to recover it. Well, if you do, you're going to have to get back down in altitude, get back down to 32,000 feet, relight your afterburner, and because she'll slow down. Once you get down to 32,000, you're going to be well below. You know,
Yeah.
you'll have engine 1 and 2 back on. You'll be well below
I'm in a
Mach 1.
descent right now, like a descent, and it's like the speed is like
What's the
coming up.
proper way to descend this thing?
Pull the throttle back to idle, and if you have to, you can
Oh, I'm
pull
in
your
full throttle,
spoilers.
I'm
You can
negative
pull
10 degrees
spoilers
in
and
throttle.
slow down. If you want to slow down, pull your spoilers.
I'm going Mach 9 towards the ground currently at 100.
That's not probably good either. You better make sure your throttle's all the way back.
We don't
And
need the body bag yet.
if you're going straight down, you better start pulling spoilers to slow down.
There we go. Now I got the scram, I think. Oh yeah.
Oh, you'll know if the scram's on. Oh,
I
it's a
think,
rush when that thing fires
Yeah.
off.
Oh, yeah.
Love this thing.
Oh. Breaking sound barriers 4 times.
I'm Mach 5, slowing down slowly.
I don't see nobody.
So now I
No.
just go up though, like just keep pulling the stick back. 'Cause
You
I'm at,
don't
like,
have to pull back. Just go for the ride. All you want to do is use your rudder to try and stay at least close to where you need to be on path. As for the stick, do not pull, do not push. Let the plane go. Let her go. She will go to 275. You don't have to do anything. She will
Yeah, mine
level
does.
off at
Mine does the
275.
opposite. Mine just goes straight down at like 20,000 feet per minute. Yeah.
What's your trim set at?
Right.
The trim should be automatic pretty much on that bird. You don't have to mess with it.
Yeah, it's a nose down trim on this thing when I hit the ocean right now.
Yeah, so there is a certain amount of skill to get through with this thing.
You'll have that on those bigger jobs, I guess. Let me see.
I'm
Yeah,
descending
there I
through
die.
60,150 nautical miles out.
Alright,
I'm right behind you. I'm about
I'm
180.
done with this thing for now.
Go ahead, if you want to, go ahead and spawn into AYGN and spawn in with use your world map load 60 alpha and load in probably with the 208 because you're going to need the speed today. We need 165 knots.
There's 40,000 feet descending.
Here we go. I'm fixing to turn into a rock.
Oh, I should see Captain falling out of the sky here soon.
Yeah, it's coming up really fast.
The islands look really neat from up here at this altitude too. Looking
I
down.
can
They
see
do.
you now, Captain.
It's a
Still don't
glider
see
you're looking
anyone.
for, Carl.
I'm officially in first place.
Yeah, but being in first place doesn't mean you're going to be the first one landing.
It might mean I'm gonna be in a body.
Oh, you may overshoot the runway.
Why? I'm at 20,000 feet, Captain.
That doesn't mean anything. Depends how fast you're going at 20,000 feet, too.
And Mach 1. Oh yeah,
Also, how far from the airport are you at 20,000 feet?
100 nautical miles.
If you're at 20,000 feet and 100 nautical miles, you better seriously be slowing down or you're going to pass it. Because in an airliner,
Oh, I'm not even
in
at
an
like
airliner,
100.
you're running, what, 300 knots?
I'm at
And
like
it takes you 100 miles to get down, and you're going to be going faster than
I
that.
see AYMS. I'm almost to AYMS. lining
Yeah, but
up
that's
for
not
that.
where you're landing. You want AYGN.
I know. I'm at 12,000 feet. 13,000 feet ish. Alternating. Mach 1 heading down that way. Uh oh, Captain. I see you dropping like a rock. You just.
That's a
yeah.
general idea.
I just shoved the yoke fully pushed in. Just descend at -20 at full afterburner and full throttle straight down.
Oh, I see you way the hell down there, Beaver.
Yep. That's about how we're going. We're going in.
That's one way to descend.
Yeah. Just full.
Oh, if
push,
you
full
really want to
afterburner.
descend exciting, you pull your spoiler.
Oh,
And
I-
you will really come down quick.
What I did, I pulled the spoiler, nose down 20 degrees, jammed the scramjet and afterburners all back on and shot towards the ground at Mach 10.1.
Are we starting our descent at the turn?
No.
You start it before the turn.
Before the turn, or you'll be found a mile down.
You better be on your way down by the time you're over AYG3, or you're probably not going to make it. You'll need spoilers.
Descend at waypoint 1.
Yeah, you're going to go blazing past AYGN.
Is that right? We
The
descend at.
Yeah, the spoilers will slow you down pretty fast with this airplane.
I started my descent between AYMS and AYBK is where I just started my descent, like in the middle. Came right down, made my turn, and I'm heading in for the airport. I'm seeing islands, Captain. I'm at 13,000. I don't see you anymore. You dissipated again.
But
oh,
we
no, Captain, you're overflying the airport.
we do descend at waypoint 1 though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still running Mach 3.5, and I'm,
I think Captain's gonna miss.
I may have to start pulling spoilers.
Yeah, I think you already might be missing over there, Captain.
Right, and I seem to think you just passed waypoint 1, right?
Yeah,
I'm
just passed it.
passing waypoint 2. I passed my 90-degree turn,
I'm making it
and
90.
now I'm trying this hard turn at Mach 3,
Captain,
which I'm going to overshoot. I know I'm going to overshoot. That's okay. I've got 125 miles to get back on path.
Oh, Frosty's in my view now.
Yeah, I'm about 50 miles out.
I didn't follow the magenta line. I just went in the general direction of the magenta line and shot it. Said, screw it, good enough. I'm gonna descend below the clouds here now. Throttle back and descend.
Going glider.
Oh, I don't want to become a glider. I'm at low altitude. I'm just above the clouds. I want to just get just below the clouds here.
Come on, airplane, come down. Come down.
My Captain, I'll see you over in India by the time you descend. Or Australia, actually. Something around that direction. Wow, what's the ceiling here? Yikes.
You're going to be the one to tell us about weather.
Frosty might get there before me, I'm not sure. I'm at 3,000 feet in heavy clouds. Oh my god, the clouds go down to the water, guys. We're screwed.
Yeah, ceiling's low. I'm at 13,000. We're still below.
Yeah, use your synthetic vision. You can.
Clouds.
You got synthetic vision on the airplane.
Yeah, I almost just hit the water using synthetic vision, so no, we won't be using that ever again. You're down at Mach 100 nautical miles away. Oh, direction you in a 208. Oh, well, that's Captain's overshot.
Fly that Darkstar.
Yeah, poor Derek. He's going to be saying, "Curse you, Darkstar." It takes a little practice.
I probably used it once, but that was with a video.
When it works right, it's a blast. Actually, when it
Literally.
doesn't work right, it's a blast.
It's a blast to say, oh, you stupid technology. Now, the reason
Well,
Frosty...
I got it in scramjet, but the thing just decides to just plummet like down at like 30,000 feet per
Frosty,
minute.
how close did you follow the magenta?
I was actually on the line pretty good, but
Well, I'm nowhere close to it right now. I'm way the hell off.
I was only about 20, 30 miles to the left of it.
It was 138 nautical miles.
Oh Lord, I'm 35 miles out doing Mach 1.6.
I'm starting my 90.
Captain, I'm doing Mach 1.9 currently.
You better slow down depending on how close you are.
50 nautical miles.
Oh, things are rosy. I'm down to 400 knots now. I've got, how far to go? About 75 miles and I'm down to 4,000 feet. I just go for the ride. Hey, this is great. Don't forget your gear.
Yep, it's already down. Or, actually, no, it's not.
I
Thanks
took
for
my
the
gear with
reminder.
me this time, but I don't need it yet.
I wonder who else is popping into my view. Oh. Trade, you look like you've overshot. Might just be me.
Oh, I see all you guys back there now.
I just don't see
I see
Erna.
Beaver, DD Rams, and Triton behind me.
Yep,
Or
I'm
somewhere
subsonic
to see.
and coming in 100, or what have I got? 97 miles to go.
I got DD Ram in front of me.
the Frosty is gonna probably beat you all.
Oh yeah, Frosty's gonna be the first in, if he's not already in.
About
He's
12
gonna be
miles.
down any minute. See Beaver scud running it a little bit.
I'm coming in at Mach 2. It's okay. I'm
You may
gaining
think it's
altitude.
okay. You'll overshoot the runway.
I'm climbing. Lose speed. I still don't see the island. It says I'm 50 nauticals from it. I don't see it. But 7,600 feet. I see Captain.
Have you made
Ernest
your?
is coming to view.
Oh, okay. You made your right-hand turn.
Oh, I made a wonky right-hand turn.
I'm down here at 2,000 feet and enjoying the view. It's beautiful coming in.
Until you look in front of you and see Beaver blasting through 6,000.
Nobody says it has to be pretty.
There's Mach 1, 5,200 feet. I see Captain off in the distance.
Yeah, it looks like the weather for me doesn't look too bad.
Nah, it's clear where I'm at now. I'm on a straight in for the runway.
I'm still about 40 miles out doing 300 knots. I'm just cruising along over the water and enjoying it.
The runway's only 93 feet wide. Oh, we're screwed. I'm passing you, Captain. Bye-bye. That's also not the airport down there.
No, I'm not on the landing path, but I'm working my way over there.
I'm straight in for the runway. I'm not on the magenta line. I'm 2 nautical miles to the left, blah, blah, blah. But I'm straight in for the runway.
I'll have to look back, see who I see back here.
I
Oh, let's see.
see-
Oh, Beaver, where are you going, Beaver?
To the runway, why?
I just saw you blast past me. How fast are you going?
1.99.
That might not be real good. You want to remember how close you are.
Seatbelt is strapped. Inverting now. I'd be crazy if I went inverted. I'd be more out of my mind than I already am.
Yeah, now is the point where you better start getting stable for your landing.
Nah, we'll be okay. What's the runway altitude?
The elevation there is 65 feet
Okay.
for the runway.
2,600.
Well, this is definitely another first. This is the first time I've flown Darkstar in Papua New Guinea.
This is back in Sweden.
Oh yeah, very few people have probably gone to New Guinea with a Darkstar, just us.
I'm seeing my little black Dorito shadow on the ocean way below me. Funny.
Yeah, I'm not trying to run any races to get there now. I just want to be under control
Well,
and try and land this thing.
I'm 30 nautical miles. Airport night in sight here. I'm not in control of my aircraft at all, except my pitch. I try
You're
to
going how fast?
you would love to know 0.99.
You better be, yeah, you better be doing spoilers.
I'm putting my gear down when it's slowing me down. You know, we don't need gear yet. I'm gonna come up on this airport, not even see it. I'm gonna blow right past it. Okay, we're cutting off afterburner now.
Dude, who the hell is there?
Okay, I'm on path.
I'm on path 2.
Right about where I should be, and I'm still about 30 miles out, but I'm not going that fast.
I'm 15 nautical miles out. Second place. Once I land, I'm going to switch over to the 208. I still don't see the runway, even though I feel like I'm on top of it over the water here. Oh, I'm coming up quick,
I
goddamn.
think the 208 always had like this distinct sound to it. Or has a distinct sound to it.
But it's actually
Yeah, I like the 208. It's
Yeah,
not
it's a cool,
bad.
like, it's got like a cool sound. It's like a deep, like, sound to it.
Yeah, there's a speed limit now. Nothing over 110 knots on approach.
So have you, did you bind a reverse key for your 208?
For me?
Yeah. Or do you know what, actually I can't tell you that now, but after, as soon as I land I can tell you. I think what you, is it decrease RPM? I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
I usually just go in the cockpit and just pull the
Airport
throttle
right?
back. That's usually what I do.
Yeah, you usually want a switch that you can throw that reverse on and off. I don't think most of the runways today are that bad. Now, when we get to those ones that are modified, some of those are pretty tricky.
They're interesting. I've been here before with Captain.
Who needs reverse thrust? That's a skill issue.
Who needs tiny strips? We land wherever we want. Sides of mountains, trees, windmills, power lines.
Sometimes because we have to.
Oh, Captain, I slowed down way too much. I'm stalling to my death outside of the runway.
I'll watch for your splash as I come
I'm
in.
over land. I'm like 1 nautical mile final currently. Lined up for the runway. Landing at a 4 crosswind. Parking brakes enabled. Spoilers ready and armed.
I got that crazy
Spoilers out.
time.
Touchdown. And spoilers stow. And we're good to pull off the runway. 40 knots. I lived, Captain. We don't need the body bag. Or the liquid containers for liquefying myself on impact.
We're gonna be using VORs here or what?
My flight path wasn't too bad.
You need to eyeball it to the ground.
I'm posting group flight text my Darkstar flight path that I took. With my humongous turn.
Actually flew past the damn airport. Let's be. Oh yeah.
No, I already landed. That was me taking off and then I hit a building. I've already been landed. I stopped. I stopped parking brake and full afterwards and then to do it again. Parking brake off. And this is how we take off, ladies and gentlemen. Fasten your seatbelts and hold your hands because it's going up. That's what we call vertical. I see you coming in, Captain. I'm gonna cut off Captain.
400 knots.
Yeah, you can't master Doggo's cartwheels.
Oh, but I can master backflips.
Okay, 90 out. Be there in a minute, boys.
Oh, Captain, we're gonna need a body bag. We're gonna need a body bag.
How many crashes have you made now? About 5 today?
No, that was my first. I landed successfully the first time. Shocking. Hard landing, but I lived the first landing. Was hard though.
That's not fair, Carl. 6 bounces doesn't mean 6 crashes.
Hey, I didn't get 6 bounces.
Not you.
Me. I was halfway down the
I'm
runway.
down and safe.
No,
Today was a good flight.
I'm running Captain over for what he's done.
Hey,
Oh, I'm lifting off before then, I guess.
17,000 feet, dropping 2,000 a minute. Right on the spot.
I wonder how aerobatically maneuverable this Darkstar is.
That would be something Doggo would ask.
You'd be better off driving a tank on ice. Oh, great! It's a tailwind.
Oh, I had a crosswind.
No, we got a crosswind here.
Well, it's probably the altitude, 15,000.
Yeah.
Actually, you've got a wind from a north wind 357 at about 4 knots,
It's showing
which is
85
essentially
at the
nothing. Who we got coming in? There comes Triton.
lowest.
I am on the ground.
Coolio. I see a stack of names waiting for me. 60 out.
There we go, load in the 208.
Airspeed 618, so I am getting there quick.
Yeah, today I actually had a textbook flight. Worked out perfect. It doesn't always.
Derek was the only casualty in this whole Darkstar flight.
Give me a chance. I'll do my best.
I was a casualty on the flight from last week, yesterday.
Oh, 50 out.
I've got DD Rams in sight. Here he comes.
Bounce. Late.
I'm bringing up the rear here.
Was it
I
bounce?
wonder.
And I'd like my participation trophy delivered to me on the runway. Of 40 miles out, 8,000 feet in the air.
Okay, I'm not sure
Traveling
where the...
Mach 0.9.
No, well.
Yeah, you just want to make sure you get your speed down to somewhere close to 200 knots about the time you're at down here.
Oh yeah.
And 189.
Pull back to 30% throttle, drop my wheels, get ready for my spoilers at about 15 miles out. Halfway there. Low tower, permission to land at runway 27, currently 8,000 feet at 590 knots.
Scrambling fire trucks.
You ought to have a fire truck in your arsenal of sound effects there, Carl.
Yeah, the only thing about having, if they did, there actually, I think there might be one for sale, but if you do have one, everybody else is going to see it as a bonanza.
Yeah, but you just need the
Although it
fire
would be
belt.
it would be cute if you use an external view and you're watching somebody else land with it. That would be kind of cool.
I think it's the Oshkosh Striker by Wombat something. It's an actual fire.
Oh look, Beaver's coming in for another crash attempt.
No.
737.
Yeah, the 737 is what
Been
I said.
spotted.
Try and crash on the runway so I have something to look forward to.
Right, lights on, other lights on. Do that, do this, flaps 3. Spoilers on.
15 out. Dropping airspeed.
Flaps coming down. I don't have runway in sight yet.
Neither do I. 14 out.
Not like 5 out. If not even anyway.
Hey, did somebody roll up the runway? Put it back.
Roll up the like rolling out. Wait, what? I'm so lost. I don't understand that.
Captain Ernest, you look high. You're at 7,400 feet.
Yeah, well, I have some good gummies here. I'm still 10 miles out. Down to 400 knots.
Oh god, I'm stalling. Jeez. I'm gonna die before I even get to the runway. GPWS callouts are gonna kill
Yeah,
me.
Beaver will be crashed in the water and show you the direction to go.
Yeah, you wanna go this way?
Fast.
I seem to be way off to my left.
You're really high, you're gonna pass the airport, Ernest. Well, I see your lights, you gotta drop.
I see the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really expensive idle right now, currently on the other end of the runway here. I've been probably idling here for probably half an hour. Mechanics are gonna, the owner that owns this airplane is gonna be complaining on the phone tomorrow. That hops time is gonna be going up like crazy.
1,000.
Hi, I'm Oprah Winfrey. You get a tank of gas, and you get a tank of gas, and everybody gets a tank of gas.
Yeah, that jet fuel's not cheap.
No, it's
It's okay.
sync rate warnings. Here they come.
I got more money than God.
500.
Features.
400.
Oh my
Down to 208,
Look at the tags and
204. Gliding in nice. 175.
Ooh.
Planted that one.
Yep, nice there, Ernest.
That's the first time I've wanted to land on the left.
All right, be right back with the 208.
Yep, time to reload 208 with 60 Alpha for your flight plan. Now I got to reconfigure my controller right quick too.
I'm going to take a minute or two break too while I'm reloading.
I'm missing this stupid thing. Yikes. It doesn't have reverse thrust on my 737 for some reason. Even though I have it bound for every other aircraft, it works. But not the 737.
Yeah, but PMDGs, they're interesting, yeah.
Like it wants to enable, but it doesn't.
Let's see here.
Gonna go in dev mode, switch. V1. Just tailstruck Derek to Oblivion. I was ready to climb gear up.
I put on my taxi lights. Why are you rolling towards my propeller? Anybody want toe bug pate for lunch?
What's
What's
up?
that?
Some
Oh,
fool
Captain.
and... Good.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, Captain. We're following the magenta line today, huh? Sorry, Ernest. Here you go.
Attempt 2.
Okay. I never say anything of value. I just talk. Making a joke about turning one of these technicians in the yellow vest into sushi.
Lining right up next to Triton over here.
The magenta line will drive you into a mountain. It will not help you today. So sorry.
What will help us, a VOR?
Well, no. Actually, you're gonna have to use your eyeballs. Today is an eyeballs flight. Just because I give you a magenta line doesn't mean you're going to be able to automatically use the autopilot. You will in places, but not everywhere.
Reverse. Interesting.
I'm not sure where it's go. Oh, did I load 60A? I think I loaded 60A. Yeah, I see people here. I'm at the right place. All's well.
A lot of people ran down to the 2-6-ish and
Should have went the other way. All right.
there's a couple of people that decided to park on 09. Are you sending us to 27 to depart?
You'll have to check the winds. I'm not sure what we've got here. I'm just now in the process of loading in.
It's only a 3-knot wind, so it's not much.
Oh, it's a crosswind too. So it doesn't matter if we use 09. We're actually going in the direction of 27. We're going to the west, so it might be taken off that way. Might be the choice, I suppose.
Turning around.
Alright, I'll just do a turn. I'll just do a 180 pretty much. I just was over here because I spawned in here.
That's unusual because the flight plan had parking space 2 as spawn.
It might depend on what you chose, even though you are loading in the flight plan. Let's see here. Yeah, I can see the flight plan. That's good. I've got it loaded. I probably should pull up my text file because I need to figure out where we're... The text file is still possibly handy to have. It'll have information. Even though we're following a magenta, you might want to know about what runway headings are and junk like that when we get there.
Lining up behind 27, sir.
Yeah, so no need for don't have VORs today. The name of the game is Don't Crash Into the Mountain. That's going to be the name of the game.
Will the rain, the impossible rain.
Try to get my text file where I can see things. Everything's pretty much there we go. That'll work. Now I can make this airplane go. Yeah, I don't think with the most of the runways we have are. What are you doing in a 737 Beaver?
I'm trying to get that 200 foot per minute landing and I can't. I did it once and I can't figure it out again while I'm waiting.
You're going to have some difficulties unless you want to be doggo for the day for these runways.
Oh, yeah, it'll be fine.
And at least for a little bit, we could
Wonder what
actually.
surprised Lamitas and Smart Guy aren't here. Usually they fly.
Smart Guy was here last night.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. I thought he usually joins also the second
I think Lamitas. I don't know if he's usually on both. He may just be the Friday night guy.
day. Yeah.
Well, let's rock and roll, get moving. We still have how many miles do we have to go today? We got a fair amount of distance. And this is our first taste.
206.
Yeah, our first taste of New Guinea.
I got negative 206 feet.
Just
from
follow the
where I'm
magenta
at.
line for now.
Yeah, this for the next few weeks we're going to be on a magenta line. But the magenta line will not keep you from hitting mountains.
Gotcha. So you just got to maintain vertical guidance.
Yeah, in fact, half the time, once we start getting to the runways, all the magenta line is going to do, it's going to give you a distance or direction, but that doesn't mean you're going to be able to
You want
follow it.
nav mode on, right? Yeah, nav mode.
In this case, you want GPS mode, not VLOC.
Uh-oh, I just got an engine fire.
Yeah, I think I'm on the line.
Yikes.
You're somewhat.
Alright, let's just pretend that warning that I just got means literally nothing. And that I'm not having an engine fire right now.
Yeah, I'm on the magenta line. I just hit nav mode. It's already programmed in my GPS.
Yeah, think of the magenta line kind of as guidance for today. Since our VORs, we only had really 2 VORs in this area, and only one of them was usable at the time. And the one that we used to have here on the east side of New Guinea is now gone. So we got to go without it. So consequently, we're on a magenta.
Next Friday, I want to hire a bunch of locals with cell phones, and we can use their GPS marker for VOR. Luckily today, my trim wheel is working flawlessly.
Looks like we got some nice hazy low clouds in the area going
Yeah, I
down
just
close to
noticed.
the ground.
I just said the same thing.
Sometimes New Guinea is not the nicest place to fly. And with live weather, who knows if we'll be able to even keep live weather on. We might not, don't know. Let's see, where are we headed first off? Looking at my list here.
Here, Rick.
Well, this is where we're going to be landing on the short field, like in the mountains, right?
Oh yeah, well, when you talk about New Guinea, just about everything's in the mountains. They're either in the mountains or, well, yeah, they're in the mountains even when they're down at the next to the river down at the bottom, which a lot of times they will be.
Detroit, and how's that flying upside down there?
Yeah, it feels great, especially up in the motion rig. I'm hanging from the ceiling.
Hey, really?
That is hilarious. You're right behind us.
You have a motion rig, Triton?
Yeah, it doesn't hang me upside down. That was exaggeration.
Yeah.
But you feel it. You feel like you're upside down just the same. Your brain's tricked so well.
Would love to know how much something like that costs.
Lionel Richie and Fred Astaire already did that.
Hey, Captain, where the heck did you go?
I kind of went off the beaten path a little
Oh,
bit.
there you are. Yeah, I'm just low and chugging along pretty good.
I don't know how low you may want to stay, but how far do we have to go on this? Oh yeah, we still got another 30 miles to go, and there's a fairly high ridge in front of us, so I don't worry about staying too low.
I go to like 6,000. Heck, I might even go more.
Yeah, I didn't bother to make any altitude recommendations on this because for the most part it won't help.
Right.
The more interesting things are going to happen. You're going to see, looking at the waypoints, if you're looking in the map in your airplane, you will eventually see, well, you'll see the turns at the airports. Sometimes finding the airport is just hard to try and find it.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, you guys were following me. Shit, you're gonna have to go up higher.
Actually, we could almost fly most of the way right along the coastline and don't have to go fly. We don't have to go high for this first one. However, the airport where we're going, AYPQ, is not completely on the coast. It's inland a little bit. Yeah, today's flight is just to give you kind of this is your introductory flight for New Guinea. Get you to get a look around.
Yeah, I like this place a lot.
And we'll change speeds. I might as well look. Let me see, what are we doing for next week? I might as well pull it up while we're cruising along here. Let's see what next week is going to... Obviously, it's New Guinea. But let me see if we change... Do we change speeds for next week? Let's see here. We are in flight 6061. We're going to go... what speed do we want? Yeah, it's going to be slow for next week. I say slow. It's going to be X-Cub speed. So for you guys, if you've downloaded different things, you might want to... You could even use a Kit Fox. If you've got one of those, you can use an X-Cub. You can use the monster truck of the skies, otherwise known as the Gravel. For you guys who really love the high-powered, slow stuff, that can be a fun airplane to fly as well. It's interesting to stop it without flipping on its nose. So next week we're going to go X-Cub speed, and I think maybe the week after that, well, I'll look later, but I think we're going to alternate between X-Cub and 208 speed. And there's going to be a download that you guys are going to want. You don't need it for next week. You will need it in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you're going to need the modified. In fact, I'll probably put a link. I'll put a link in the invite, I think. Is probably what I'll do when I put it out on the when I add it to our upcoming flights and stuff. When I do that, I'll add the link to get the files off of TO. It's actually just one scenery file, but it's 2 folders that you'll get with that, and they're really well done. They're quite well done. I know Derek's already, he's actually seen it. He flew with me when I was testing some of it out. And they're fun played. They're fun.
What type of scenery are you talking about?
It's just like to clear trees out, because...
Yeah, it doesn't create airports when there aren't any. The airports are there. Every one of the airports, in other words, so if you're an X-Cub guy and can't download those, don't sweat it. The only thing that you might see different is on the runways. They put barbed wire fencing around the runways, and in some cases they cleared some of these 200-foot trees that are right by the runway. But you can still fly it even without the update. It's just with the update, it makes it a lot more palatable to fly.
Is that like the bush divers, Papua New Guinea airports or something?
Actually, I think the guy who did it or had something to do with it was this Christian missionary pilot.
Oh,
I know some
I
of you
want-
guys may have seen his videos, and I
YouTube.
think he
missionary bush pilot.
yeah, I think he had he either had input for this, he may have given them, the guy who did this, input, or he might have been the one editing the files. I'm not sure which one it was.
Missionary bush pilot, again, like I always wonder, there are people who volunteer to just fly things to these, like, kind of countries like this, these, just third world countries in a way.
Yeah, well, it's a Muslim country. They're trying to, in many cases, they're Christians. They're trying to spread the word. So sure, they'll do that. Not to mention, without these flights, in some cases, some of the residents, if you fell and broke a leg in some of these off the wall places, you'd die there if somebody didn't come get you and take you to a hospital.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I guess Christian missionary does. He probably brings them supplies and things too. He's got interesting videos. He really is. And that's real world stuff. You can watch his videos and he's flying the real airplane. He's not flying in there with flight sim.
Oh no.
Yeah,
no.
he's really in the airplane.
Yeah, you are talking about missionary bush pilot series.
Yeah, doesn't he call himself Christian missionary or something like that? Yeah.
Where he flies the Kodiak 100.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just missionary bush pilot. That's what I thought it was.
Missionary bush pilot.
Yeah, his videos are really quite entertaining, though. They are good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it shows you that this guy just doesn't use autopilot to land. That's skill right there.
Oh yeah, the little jab at the airliner guys. We're not likely to see many airliner people join us although they'd learn a lot if they would come fly with us. In fact, they don't even have to use VORs now. Enjoying the view. I know eventually I've got to drop. Our first airport, by the way, I can tell you that AYPQ Pumani, it is 402 feet elevation. The runway is at 402 feet. The runway is 2,065 feet long. And 2,000 for this airplane, no problem. This will probably be a fairly easy, unless you haven't done any bush flying in a while, and if you haven't, you're going to enjoy this. And it looks like we're going to have some kind of a north wind, but not a severely hard north wind, I don't think. And the flight for next week, I think we're hopefully our Australian friend will be with us. Sling will be here for the one for next week. Because there's a historical aspect of the flight that we're doing next week. Sometimes I manage to stumble onto some of this stuff that's rather interesting. And I don't know if I should say too much more about that one, but it's an interesting tidbit. And one of the POIs comes into play that we're going to see in New Guinea that goes along with it. It puts a little bit of a real life scenario story to where we fly, that there were some interesting stuff. I hear you, telephone. had to silence him.
Your flights are too important, not that stupid.
Oh, actually, what that one is, that's actually my blood sugar alert that I'm supposed to stab my finger, and I could even do that while flying along. Beaver, are you down there at our? You must be down there at our runway.
Cheating.
I spawned in here.
Down in this Kit Fox, it shows.
Yeah, the Kit Fox. There's a couple of them in payware that are actually pretty nice. I picked up that the Kit Fox Speedster. I got that thing for like $5 during the Thanksgiving Black Friday thing, but that's been a nice airplane.
Yeah, I almost bought it, but everybody told me I should get the other Kit Fox, but I didn't buy it.
Yeah, the one you want is the they call it Freedom Fox, I think. And that thing's got one of the highest reviews of any airplane that's for sale. So it must be. I don't own it. Do any of you guys have it?
I have them all. The Kit Fox I'm in, the stage 2 is the fastest one. It's 104 knots or something like that.
Yeah, but did you get that Freedom Fox? Is that thing really? Do you have it? Is it that nice? But that thing's
Never
like
flown it.
It's like $25 or something. Which
I've never flown the Freedom Fox. I have it, but I've never touched it.
So the runway orientation down there where Beaver is at is 02 and 20. And it looks like 02 might be into the wind, but sometimes these runways, they may or may not be real friendly. I think this one, yeah, I think I remember this airport. This one you can pretty much go in anyway. It's not that bad. It's just 2,000. It's like 2,000 feet, 2,065 feet for runway length. That is.
Like 100 feet or so wide. It's on a hill.
Most of these are they're nice runways. They're fun to play with. But the real challenges are going to come probably, well, next week and the week after. They're going to be harder. Oh, Beaver took off, so now we'll have to spot this runway when we get down here.
If you're in the 208 or any glass panel that has an OBS button, you can set yourself up for a 270-degree heading and then twist your course knob to 02 and use that as a pseudo ILS after you punch your OBS button.
Ah, never tried that.
Interesting.
After you get on a physical course at 280, if you hit the OBS button, you'll notice that the magenta line turns into an infinite straight line in the middle map. And when you spin it around to 20, and it'll give you the general direction in.
Yeah, sometimes that'll work, but where we're going in the future, that probably won't help much. Because sometimes you may have to make turns, right before landing and stuff like that. It gets interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. 280, I don't think we're gonna need, could be wrong, but where is this airport? Where's this field at? I'm trying to find
I
it.
haven't spotted it yet. I see Beaver. I don't know if he's on it.
Oh wait, I think I might see it.
I see it on my glass panel, but I don't have I don't physically see the runway yet.
That's the benefit for grass runways. If you're using OBS, you can more or less generalize when you need to make the turn to line up. Somebody's down there. Beaver's
Yeah,
back.
that's Beavers. Beavers down there.
Beaver's back in town. Beaver's back in town.
Leave it to Beaver.
Oh, don't make me look that up. I
Well, it's
probably got that somewhere.
1 degree offline. Turning right.
Alright, this thing's gotta be here somewhere, Jesus.
What,
That's
the
why.
airport?
That's why these are fun, especially if you've turned airport POIs off. Yeah, these are going to
Oh, I
be
got it.
challenging.
I got it. It's over here. It's over on my wing. Right here. Up to
It's
my...
the light green lawn.
Yes. Thanks, Beaver, for telling us. Appreciate it. Just kidding.
Ernest has it lined up. I'm following right behind you.
That's why they make these buttons, to play with.
This is why some guys really prefer bush flights over anything else. They like being able to fly around and look for fields.
Well, this is definitely like a short field.
Fields of green, short runways too.
It's a nice entry into it, right in this little valley.
I crash into you. Yeah, it's like right between the V.
500.
This one, it was fairly easy to notice it because the grass looks strange colored.
Looks like grass.
Turn off the tags while we come in.
The reverser on this thing does nothing, which is weird, but alright.
Okay, now do you need me to tell you what to bind to make your reverser work? I've got that. Looks like we got no wind down here. I can
Well,
tell
I
you
did it
if you
manually in the plane.
here. I can look it up. I can tell you if you need to know what to do to make it work.
Quick suggestion, if you use the specific clean key for the overthruster on the Darkstar, use the same key as reverser, because you'll never need a reverser in the Darkstar.
Ah. Yeah, I'll do that right now. But I just used a reverser. I thought it was kind of odd though. I thought it's like it wasn't enough power almost. It seemed like.
There's
Okay,
some-
I've got an answer for you. Da, 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 da. What you need technically are, I use two buttons. I use there is one button on press. What you want to do is throttle one decrease. When you press the button, you want throttle one decrease will make you, and then when you turn it off, throttle one increase is what you want to press when you release the button. Have you
So what's
made
the
any?
button?
Well, the button is going to need to be something either on your controller or on your keypad. I've got a switch on my controller that I can use for that. So when I do a press on the button on my joystick, when I press the button, it says it causes throttle one decrease. Throttle one decrease, if you hit that function, it will cause your turbine to reverse. And then throttle one increase is when you let go of the button, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What happens if I wear a fez? Not a turban.
You'll have a funny hat. Actually, we're in the wrong part of the world to wear, or are we? Do they don't wear fez out here, do they? Maybe they might.
No clue.
I think that's a Moroccan thing.
Yes, definitely is.
Hold throttle.
Let's see, is everybody down here and about ready to head out for our next airport?
Yep.
Yuppers.
Because taking off shouldn't be much. You got 2,000 feet. This airplane will take off in 2,000 feet. No problemo. And we'll head for our next runway and start trying to find that one. And these, compared to what we've got coming, oh, these are easy. You have no clue what's coming.
If anybody used my OBS
Oh, nice.
trick,
I just
turn the
accidentally
OBS
exited
button
out of
off.
my game. Love to see it.
And it just so happens, if you're taking off on the 20 direction, that's kind of the 200-degree direction is pretty much about what we want to go to the next airport. And it's not terribly far away. Some of these airports can be close together, but that doesn't mean it's always easy. We got like, like 12 nautical miles, something to go to get to it. And the next one is, oh, this should be more interesting because the runway elevation for AUP, where we go next, is 3,232 feet up. So now we got to get some altitude under us. And we probably got to get over this ridge in front of us too. And that brings up the Draco. And I don't know if I didn't look. No, I didn't see anybody in the Draco. If you wanted to fly it, you can, but boy, does that make life easy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might bring the Wilga. I'm not. That's a good plane.
The Wilga would be a good choice for next week's flight. Yeah, bring the Vilga. The Europeans love that thing. I think it's because it's a German airplane.
It's Polish, Poland, I think.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it might be. But yeah, that one actually has extremely high ratings in the sim market. Everybody seems to love that airplane.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice plane.
I'm turning into more of a tightwad. I don't generally buy an airplane now unless it gives me some kind of capability that I haven't had, and I bought the double ender.
Yeah, I think that I would call that in the same kind of category as far as what you can do with it. A little faster probably on that double ender since it's 2 engines, but I don't own that one. But the Wilga is fun. It's an interesting plane. The starter on it is done with compressed air. You have a compressed air bottle on board, and it has to inject that air to turn it over.
So do they have that sound when you do that, I guess?
Yeah, it's all modeled really well. Now, I guess it'd be kind of modeled like the old, they used to use those shotgun shells starters. I think they had that in the movie where they crashed in the desert. I can't remember the name of the movie. But you had these little starter shells you put inside and exploded them, and that would turn over the engine.
I don't think I've heard of those.
Yeah, surely you've seen that movie. I think it. Who was it? Jimmy Stewart was in it. The original one.
Are you talking about the Flight of the Phoenix?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. You don't remember the part where he had only so many shells, and he decided to use one with the ignition off to clear out the cylinders. I think it was like the next to the last one. He wasn't starting. Yeah, I don't know why that stuck in my head ever since I was a kid.
I do. Yeah, I remember that movie. They did a remake of it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully it went nowhere. The original was just fine.
Well,
Yeah.
the remake I think had probably some better effects in it, maybe, which is usually what changes. But yeah, that was a good movie, both of them, the original and oh, this one's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
squeezing
have-
off to the right.
I know we're coming up close
This is
to it,
resets.
and we got to
Auto
find it.
FPS program running.
The runway
Well-
is it's 09 and 24, and we're close. Oh, where is it? And does this one even look like a runway? I've got to be passing it. It's got to be. Oh, it's got to be down there right by that little village down there. Is that it?
I think it's at the base of.
Oh, that clean line, that straight line down there. Yep.
Yeah, I just flew over it.
Dive like crazy for the ground.
Yep, I wasn't watching, paying attention. Need to.
Yeah, this one's still by New Guinea standards. This one's still easy to find. We're going to have some of them that, yeah, they're going to be really hard to locate.
Duck Frosty.
Sorry, Ernest.
Uh,
500.
Oh, trimming those trees, man.
Yeah, the bush flights are good. They're going to be interesting for the next 2 weeks. And like I said, there are discords that go and do nothing but bush flights. You know, there are some groups that's all they do. Whoa, big bounce.
Dipping a toe in the water there, Carl. Finding out if everything's warm enough.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure things were okay before I set myself down. That one was not very good.
smooth as butter on mine.
Oh, I know what part of my problem is. I didn't put my idle speed down to ground idle, because that makes this airplane a lot easier when you do.
Oh, the condition switch.
Yes. Yeah, if you pull that thing back down to ground idle, you can slow the airplane down a lot better. If it's in flight idle, it doesn't want to slow down much. So now we're going west of here. This one we got farther to go. We've got like 80 miles. I think everybody's down. Or is anybody
like it.
still up? Well, I don't see any tags. Looks like we're down.
Lost beaver.
So let's head for our next one. Yeah, these are just so easy at this point.
See if we're going to climb this mountain. Looks like we can.
A ridge to get over. This is another one. Some of these, this is not much trouble yet, but we're going to have some where you're just not going to follow the path. You might have to loop around, climb, and head up again.
500.
Yeah, cleared it.
GPS is not grabbing. My auto takeoff is destroyed. I have to do it manually.
You should be able to get it lock on GPS. It ought to.
Yeah.
Make sure your
My heading's
CDI is
green.
on
My heading's
GPS.
green. My heading is green. My GPS is armed. I'm almost on top of the magenta line. And hitting nav just keeps on turning GPS on and off in armed mode. So I don't know what's going on.
And you do have your CDI on GPS?
Yep,
Or-
magenta line.
Yep.
I had to take the scenic route to get back online, but I'm right there with you guys.
This is one leg where you could easily use a GPS, but these are going to be few and far between. Most of the time when we're flying out here, it's not going to matter, because usually we're not going that far. Today, the reason why we're going that far, we're trying to work our way, we're working our way over to Port Moresby on the south side of the island.
OBS button. I clicked it to turn it on and turn it off to make sure that it was off.
Were you suspended or something?
Yep, probably. But it doesn't say suspended.
And I
in
never
this
have
plan.
understood that, how you really, because it goes into suspend and then you can get it on and off, and I haven't gone in to try and read up to figure out how that works.
When you hit suspend on OBS, what you're doing is you're suspending the advance to next waypoint. So say you're traveling towards an airport, you hit suspend, it will clock you in a circle around the airport because you're constantly
Oh, so it won't go on to the next
the
one?
next airport. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there are a lot of. In fact, that could be very handy soon, especially when we can't find the runway.
Yeah. Which is why with grass strips, I like using the OBS, compass, so I can line up automatically, or at least close automatically, so I can decide, does that look like a runway?
Yeah, some of these, the ones that we've got coming up in 2 and 3 weeks out, those things, they're gonna look like a dirt mark on the down in the jungle, and one of those is going to be our airfield in The others might not be, and that's where they start to get harder.
I agree with you there.
But it's beautiful here. It really is. I just don't know that I would want to have a Discord group where that's all you do are these kind of bush flights. To me, I like a little variety.
I agree.
I just think it's fun to occasionally throw in a turboprop and a Cessna, and maybe an X-Cub, a carrier. You know, just you want to fly different stuff.
Absolutely. Variety is the spice of life. Don't ever tell your wife.
I hadn't heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in this case, I just went ahead and dialed up 10,000 feet to get me, because we've got enough ridges to get over. I figured I might as well just climb over and not have to worry about running into stuff. Yeah, we lost Derek. He might have something to do. Well, he's a busy guy between his college and his instrument flying class and other things. Actually, he's had a good taste of this stuff already, though. Maybe he figured he'd better go work on homework.
Yeah, I used to fly a piano, but they flunked me because I couldn't land on the keys.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
A little bit of turbulence.
Yeah, you'll have to be here next week to find out about the historical aspects of our next flight.
Got me curious now.
Yeah, it's been some interesting stuff, and I might put a link in there. Or actually, once we start to fly it, you'll be able to Google it if you want to, and see about this stuff. But it actually comes in and talks about kind of some of the World War II aspects of this place. And the airplane gods have been good to us today. They give us these nice little puffy clouds around to look at. Beautiful weather today, actually. And I may be wrong. Is it summertime down here? Well, let's see here. Where are we physically? Is that kind of, or is it summertime? Well, yeah, we're on the
summer.
other side of the world. So, yeah, it's probably summertime here, I guess.
Yeah, late summer, like it's late winter for us.
Yeah, the only reason I kind of wonder about that is I'm wondering if we were down here in the wintertime, is that when they really get bad flying times and awful visibility and stuff like that? But I don't guess we'll know, because this is the time of year where we fly.
I'm not sure if it's a coincidence or what, but I remember when Sam early on, I would come over here and fly in live weather, and you know, it seemed like 9 times out of 10 it was cloudy and spotty areas, and that somewhere along the line, the weather improved over here on average. You still run into days like that, but it's not as often, it seems like. I don't know if they got better weather reporting or what.
Yeah, I know now. At least we don't get those really drastic changes that we used to get going in between airports. I think they try and kind of smooth things out. They average it, I think, is actually what they do. So it used to be you'd fly from one airport to another. It's like hitting a brick wall, where all of a sudden the wind will change 180 degrees with a 20-knot change or something and almost crash you. And I think they've pretty well gotten rid of that stuff.
You're in a 208. Remember to feather your propellers back at 10,000 feet. Or 8,000 feet even, so you can get to 10.
Yeah, I don't know with this airplane if as you pull it back, does it actually, I guess it might give you more speed. Some of the
Yeah, a
planes,
little bit.
it seems like that hasn't been modeled very well. In some cases it works, but some don't.
Yeah, let's this is the DC-3. Since that modification on it, it works real well, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, in fact, you pull it back, it'll add 20 knots to your speed.
Yep, I've noticed that too. A large majority, especially stock airplanes, they don't seem to react like you would expect. It keeps them from over torquing, but it doesn't necessarily give you any more speed. And I'm not sure on a turboprop plane if that's how it normally is. It may be.
I don't know. I would think it probably does make a difference. Unless you have they have some that they refer to them as constant speed. And those, I don't guess they don't have to mess with a prop control because it automatically changes the pitch of the blades. Somehow they rig that into the engine. I would like to fly the Cody in a lot of these flights, but the thing about the Kodiak, that if you do something wrong and overstress anything, you got to go all the way out to the main menu to repair it.
Yep, if you break it, it's got to be restarted. And it also doesn't fly upside down. It doesn't. If you tip it over, and I think you can.
It's
break
really
it.
sensitive about
Yep.
center of gravity. I know that.
Oh yeah, very, very much so.
But I suppose for next week, I'll probably come in here. I'll probably bring in the double ender. Is what I might do, or I might even use my little $5 kit, the Capt Fox Speedster. He's not bad either. But that kind of tells you that for next week we're not going as far. We're probably not going more than about 200 miles next week. In fact, I don't know if we're going, it might be less than that. But it's what's going to happen. We're going to take off. We may only need to go 5 miles, but that 5 miles will be directly through a mountain or something. So you'll either have to climb over the top of it or fly around it, one or the other. And that's where the terrain view inside the airplane sometimes comes in handy. Because then, you know, you can kind of see where mountains are, depending on which, if you've got a glass panel with the terrain view, you can kind of tell, you can see the airport where it is, and you can maybe can tell by highlighting where we need to go to get there. And we still have 3 runways to land at. Now this next airport, this ought to give you a little bit of challenge. Orem Airport, Alpha Yankee Yankee Oscar. The elevation is 3,467 feet, so it's a fairly high runway. And it's only 1,235 feet long. So this was where you need your, hopefully you got your reverse bound, because you may wind up needing it in this case. Although this airplane will slow down pretty good. You can actually get this thing down to, it'll slow down to about 55 knots before you stall it. If you've got full flaps, it'll come down to about 55. This used to be gun pilot's airplane of choice, and I couldn't help but notice on the calendar, gun pilot was going to fly the ornithopter.
Yeah, I was on that flight last night with him.
How was that? Was it good?
Oh yeah, we had a lot of fun. You know, we were using, you know, you had to fly an unlimited fuel because we were using afterburners and actually flying down canyons and all kinds of interesting things. A lot of afterburner, a lot of air brake use.
Oh, so you had to also use that slowdown key that they have, yeah.
Yeah, you had to use it all. Yeah, gun pilot, he's ever since he got the motion rig and VR, he's moved a different direction. Because now he's flying in cockpit, you know, where when I first started flying with him, everything he did was external. He was always external, flying his airplanes, doing all those tricky landing places. But now that he's got this motion rig and there's consequences when you crash, you know, you get bounced around a lot more.
Oh yeah. The
He's
biggest thing with crashing, yeah, because if it resets your view while you're in VR, boy, that messes with your mind when that happens. Your eyeballs don't like it much.
No, it doesn't reset my view or anything when you crash. It just, you know, your rig will bounce around, and if you're on the side of a mountain and start tumbling down, it'll bounce all the way down until it stops, you know, rolling around. So it can get quite violent.
Is there a new way to disengage that though?
Oh yeah, I've got an emergency stop. I think most people do. If it gets too crazy, I just reach up and slap it. It's a big button. But typically when I'm flying myself and not in necessarily a group flight, I put all my realisms on. So, you know, if I do crash, it's an instant it's over with. You know, you don't go bouncing around. You're back to the main screen, you know, because it goes black. So that's how I normally fly, full realism and all that on.
Apparently in my instructions I say in here we've got a high ridge that's 8,300 feet that we have to get over to get to Alpha Yankee Yankee Oscar. What do we got maybe 20 miles to go, something like that, I think. And that's got to be the 8,300 foot ridge that we got to get over in front of us. So after we get over that ridge, then we'll have to kind of dive down to the runway elevation at 3462. And part of the problem is we got to find it. And I think that's one thing that does help when we fly with the slower airplane, like when we're either in either X-Cub or some facsimile thereof. When you're flying along at an X-Cub and you're going at 115 knots, it's a little easier to maybe to find things and slow down than it is when we're flying in this thing at 165 or 180 knots. Something like that. We got more speed to bleed off and figure out where we're going. But they both have their challenges.
Yeah, I was on the community flight yesterday with CD as well, and that's what they did is ornithopters. So, and I told everybody that was probably the only time you're ever going to see that many ornithopters in one place at one time, is that one flight.
Yeah, did he have a lot of people show up?
Oh yeah, there was a ton of them. Of course, you can only see, 25 or so of them at one time.
Yeah, he the way he works there, they've got some kind of camera trick view that they put on there that, because the CD doesn't want his view being blocked by guys in front of him, I think. So if he looks behind him, he will see tons of people, but in front of him, he only allows you to see like 5 people in front of him or something. So it doesn't ruin his view.
Sometimes I think he's flying in a special server that only certain people are allowed to join.
Oh, well, I think he may have some kind of little tool. And
Well,
yes, it is true that you always see whoever's flying with him as far as in his not in his Discord, but the Microsoft guys, they can always find each other, but as for anybody else finding each other, that's hard.
Find somebody in the Discord link that you can see in front of you, which means if he's right next to CD, you should be able to see him and CD at the same time.
Oh, and you don't see CD? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And there are certain people inside of his window. When he scans around real fast, look at the names around them and you'll find out that, even if you can figure out, okay, he's over that building, I'm going to fly as fast as I can to that building so I get right behind him.
Yeah.
You never see him.
Maybe there were too many people that were wanting to do aerobatics in front of him all the time.
Yeah,
So I can understand why he probably might have done what he did.
I spent 20 minutes flying inverted in an ultralight on one of his early flights. And then all of a sudden it was just like, okay, we're taking off. Well, where are you? I'm within 100 miles. I don't see your name in front of me taking off.
Yeah.
So, it's got to be preset to cater to his.
Well, yeah. Well, when you work for Microsoft, you get certain perks. That's probably one of them.
Well, I see him quite often when I'm flying with him. Like I say, you'd have to be in the right place at the right time. And I'm not sure how the name tags, because it's such a big group and you're limited to 25, even though you may be close, it kind of puts you in a group of 25 from some random pick or something. I'm not sure how it works. Like yesterday, I saw him in the flight, and other times, it's like Ernest says, I could see Peter. I could always find Peter there, but I could never see him. But it's. I think it's just one of the weirdnesses, which supposedly this new update coming out, which was supposed to be happening in a week or so. Well, it's now going to be, I think, the end of the month, but it's going to increase the number of planes you can see in multiplayer, supposedly.
That'd be nice.
I think that actually hit the latest beta version this week. Of course, I'm not on that, so I can't tell you if it works or not.
We're getting close. Start to keep your eyes peeled. Now we gotta find it.
I'm showing 20 miles out. Runway 30.
Yeah, it's 12 and 30. And right now the hardest part's trying to find it. I know it's in this area, but
It's an actual 299 magnetic.
Got to slow down before I get overrun. T-Lod 124.
I think it's a little further along.
oh, I got it. I got it. It's near the top of the ridge. It's near the top of the ridge, 12 and 30. I've got it sighted now. And it may be uphill going if we land on 30, I think.
Is it that bright white?
It's right near a red spot. There's a big red rocky area and kind of a dirt strip there. Yep, I've got it spotted.
I see it.
Oh, this thing's short. Oh boy, this thing is short.
Speed 0 is what you want for this one.
Oh, I made it. I made it. I'm down and didn't go in the trees. Wow.
All right, let's see what kind of landing we can make up here.
This one is extremely short. And yes, you pretty well have to fly in here on the 30 direction, 300 direction. Yeah, in fact, this one was kind of a favorite. I like this one.
It is among some of the nicer ones that they have laid out.
It's not because there's fancy scenery or anything here, but this one is just really short. So you need to watch your speed when you come in here. Try to slow down about as good as you can.
Looks like a field that the missionary bush pilot would go into, huh?
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think this one was kind of one of my favorites, and I think when I came in here the first time, I think I wound up in the trees.
I'm still 10 miles out, so if you want to call a takeoff, I'll do a touch and go.
No, no, we'll wait for you. We're not. Well, if anybody's in a big hurry, it doesn't matter. At this point, we've got one more short field, and then we've got a long one at Port Moresby.
We're good.
So if you do stick around for the next airport, and the next airport is only about 12 miles away from here, and it's going to be another one similar to this one. All
right, you can critique our landing, Carl. We're coming in.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I can, let's see here. I could even, I can do this. Here we go. Blip, there we go. And I don't know that y'all would want to watch, but if you were watching, you can watch yourselves come in. And this one's fun because of the high elevation and because the fact that it's not very long. You don't want to bounce around long. You pretty much have to get on the ground and hit the brakes. Yeah, you guys made it look fairly easy. Now we can watch Ernest come in. Have you spotted the field, Ernest? Or our tags will help you find it too.
All eyes are on you, Ernest. Better make it a good one.
I'll try and stay connected.
Oh, sometimes that happens. Stupid Discord even throws me out of my own Discord. Does it a lot.
2.6 miles out, nose diving.
Yeah, get all the flaps you can. Try not to have your speed too fast coming down here. The altitude here is about 3,500 feet.
Oh, thank you. I was just about to ask that. I'm at 5. I point very early to get to level out, slow down that way.
But I do think this is probably this is a favorite for coming in here. I like this one. And with me, with my short-term memory, they turn out being good that way because I never remember having flown here. Once I started coming down here, I said, oh, I remember this thing. But I never remember it when I'm looking for it.
I may have landed here before with bush divers.
Quite possibly. They love this area. They fly in here all the time.
But then again, most everything I land at looks like this with bush divers.
Yeah, a lot of the dirt.
Yeah, I flew a lot with Steve Bingham. With the bush diver guys.
Now, if I was smart, I would have squoze over and landed on that early patch.
Boom.
Hit the brakes, no
And
problem.
he's down and safe.
All right.
And now all we got to do, we're going to be taking off, and obviously we got to take off the other way from where we came in here, and then we got to make a 180-degree turn, and we got to get over the top of a ridge. So we've only got 12 miles to go, but it depends how fast you can climb. So let's see, here we go.
Right in behind him.
Full flaps roll out.
Flaps up.
Take
So you
advantage.
don't have to be too aggressive at making that 180-degree turn, because I know we got to climb. I remember we had to, in fact, my instructions say something about that. Let's see, what did I say about this? Yeah, 6,000 foot ridge in the way. Oh, and the next runway is 1,500 and some odd feet. In length. So we're headed for Oro Bisoro. And Oro Bisoro, the altitude there is 1,740 feet. So we're going to be losing altitude. It's probably down there near the river or something. This one's probably going to be down low. It won't be on the top of the ridge like this last one was. So you kind of got to use your GPS in your airplane to get a picture. Kind of the glass panel helps a lot to do these. And the thing about, yeah, is it past this high ridge? I don't remember where this one is.
DR shows over this high ridge. It's actually in a valley.
Yeah, I know it's going to be in a valley, but I never remember, is it this valley or is it on the other? It might be on the other side of this ridge.
Technically, it's
10 miles.
under the in the third valley. We're gonna go
Yep.
over
That's what it looks like. Three
different
valley.
knobs.
Wonder if Pizza ever came here and did Cessna Sunday here. Or is that pretty much impossible?
His Cessna Sundays are pretty random, so he could have been anywhere.
Yeah, I went on a few of his Sunday flights. They were real nice. And I don't know if I should say unfortunately, because it's not unfortunate, because I'm with my granddaughter every Sunday, so I don't get to do it. But I'll enjoy her time much better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Real life always trumps a simulation.
Yeah, especially with granddaughters.
And it's the only granddaughter, only grandkid I'll probably ever have, so I'm going to
You're gonna
use
spoil
every...
her rotten.
Oh, yeah, I already done that.
But
But
also,
spend as much time as I can with her while I can. Because I know they get older, they don't want to spend as much time with their parental units or grandparents or anything else. They have their own friends to deal with.
Yeah, well, yeah, once they become teenagers. But a lot of times that kind of reverts and they tend to come back. At least for family get-togethers, they'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, once they get to teenagers, they may not want to spend time with either. Although you might lucky, she still may want to spend time with you. Maybe not with her mom and dad, but she'll probably still want to be with you.
Grandparents are cool.
Yeah, grandkids are cool too. I don't see mine enough. And when I do wind up seeing them, I look at them and say, do I remember you? I mean, they've changed so much. Mine are teenagers. In fact, my two of my grandsons now are driving. Looks like you may be the, it's right against, I can tell by looking at my glass panel, it's on the river.
Yeah,
If
right
that
down on the
helps
river.
much.
I can see it down there. I'm going to have to drop some altitude. I'm not sure. It's not going to really matter which direction is crosswind. I think it's going to be a little easier to come in from this direction, though.
This one is 0826. And the wind probably makes, yeah, I see it down there.
I may
This
get down
way-
and figure it out. I'm on a slope the wrong direction. I don't know. I'll find out
These can
shortly.
be misleading. The airport itself, the runway may be level, but they sometimes appear like they're not. This one, I'm not sure. But this one, you kind of have to go back and forth in the river areas, so in order to get down to land. That's why they get more fun here. So you got to avoid hitting the hillside, making your turnarounds to come in.
Yeah, I think I'm going to come in from the direction you're heading, come in from, Carl.
Well, I've got to make a U-turn, and it looks like I'm going to be landing it on 08. I'm bleeding off altitude and I'm kind of following the river. Trying to, and I'm about ready to make my turnaround, I think. Oh, there's a nasty S down there in that river too. So I'm not going to follow the river exactly.
500.
Well, here I go.
Yeah, you get down low over the river. This one, it's just a pretty landing. It's just beautiful coming in here. You're almost coming right over the river before you touch down here. This is a scenic one. I like this one too. Bring your fishing pole. And yeah, you probably want to come in the direction of 08. If you come the other way, it's going to be harder.
Yeah, a whole
Pretty
lot.
sure it'll be a lot harder.
A ridge of trees right on the other side, don't you?
Yeah, you got some high trees on the other direction. So if you don't come in this one on the 08 direction, you're going to have to work at it.
Well, reset your program's running great. It's
But it's not that difficult. It's just, like I said, this one is very scenic.
Almost like a crash dive to get down there fast enough.
Yeah, kind of stay near the river. The river's going to point you right to the runway. So you can bleed off your altitude, kind of staying near the river. Except don't get hung up in that real tight twist down there.
I'm going to slide over the edge of this ridge and nose up.
It's as I said, this one just beautiful.
It was a really nice entry. That was a nice view.
Definitely. And there's another Vita cross.
So these were just to give us a really nice. These two airports are really nice to look at. They're nice. And this next one, yeah, nothing special. We're going to the Port Moresby Airport on the next one. So the next one will be our ending point, where we'll start for next week. We got 42 miles to go.
Okay, who got the toast? Because I brought the butter. Which way we going out?
I'm kind of thinking we want to head out over by where we are, the other direction, because there's this big high ridge of trees here. And you got to make sure, even when you take off here, you're going to be headed, kind of bank off to the left a little bit to, to follow the river to gain some altitude. I mean, how can you go wrong with this place? It's beautiful here, really is. Yeah, I had to go, I dug around. In fact, usually when I fly these areas, I'll fly literally every runway in the area, and I'm always looking for the one that maybe gives us the nice, this one you just got really nice scenery because of the river. We're seeing the water flowing, and I love the way they're making the water look so much better. They've improved all this stuff.
Most definitely.
The water for me has really made the biggest difference. The quality of it is just
Yeah, it almost looks almost kind of semi-clear. They've done a great job.
Yeah,
So here we
scenery
kind of
does look
follow
good.
the river a little bit, but we're not going to be able to stay with it. The river's going to go to the south, and we're pretty much going due west, but at least it gives us some room to climb out as we head for Port Moresby. So break out your X-Cub or slow plane for next week. You could fly the gravel monster truck or something if you really wanted to. That one used to be, I used to like that one a whole lot. That thing climbs like crazy. But now I'm kind of hooked on the double ender. The only bad thing about the double ender, you guys are probably going to see me as a Bonanza when I fly it, but that's just what Microsoft does to us.
Yeah, but at least a Bonanza's not too bad. It's not like a A320.
No, at least it won't be. They won't show you an A320. In fact, I'm not even sure if they will show me as a twin-engine Bonanza, although it might. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've
So
got
Nick,
the Cessna 337. It's a center line twin engine like the double ender is.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Do you have that one?
Yeah, I do.
What do you think about it?
Oh, I like it. I bought it when it first came out, and it's a sentimental reason I bought it. But
Is it fast?
Not only 150, I think, is all it flies. It's not real fast. Noisy.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's kind of slow for a twin, though. But anyway, the animation on the landing gear is really, really unique. I didn't even know how it worked.
I know what you're saying because I've seen the real one. And it does do kind of an interesting looking twist on the real airplane. So they put that on there.
Yeah, it's really well done.
I've thought about that airplane. Again, I'm a tightwad. Sometimes I'll buy the things if they put them on sale, unless it's an airplane that I think I just can't live without. And I have a hard time with it. I've got plenty of planes that'll do 150, but I think that airplane is so cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique airplane. Like I said, I bought it for sentimental reasons. My dad.
Have you flown in one?
No, I've never flown in one. But my dad was taking pilot license, becoming a pilot way back in the day, and before he finished, my mother had convinced him to stop. She was always terrified every time he went up. She just thought he was going to crash. Just totally.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was in love with flight. He wanted to do it, and he had soloed. He was flying. He was making plans to buy that Skymaster, I think it is, because it was a twin engine without the whatever it is, the imbalances of a twin engine failure. If you lose one engine, it doesn't torque over. You don't have to do much different flying. It flies normal. But he thought that was a good design, and that was way back in the 70s. And he had his heart set. He had all the brochures. He had everything worked out. He was going to purchase it, and planes were much more affordable back in those days too.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, my mother convinced him somehow to give up flying, the love he had, and he never got to get that Skymaster. So I decided I'd buy one and fly it in his behalf.
That's kind of a cool story, and it'll always, it'll give you something to think about every time you get in it. Can you fly that thing with the rear engine off?
Yeah, you can take off, land, everything. It of course it takes more runway and all, but it doesn't have really any ill effects of losing the engine other than just a loss of power, overall power. But as long as you not trying to climb like a rocket or something, you can still maintain flight and even fly to your destination with no problem.
Size-wise, does it feel a little like the 208?
Not as big as the 208, but it definitely you feel the weight of it. And it is very noisy. I think that was a characteristic of the real one. You're sandwiched in between two engines, so
you'd have to go in on your sound panel and turn on the headphone mode, so as if you were flying it with your noise canceling. And I love what they've done. Some of the new airplanes, like the Vision Jet, for instance, they put it where you can click on, and they did it with the double ender. You can click on the headphone, and it automatically switches you to headphone mode. I thought that was so cool. And I wish Microsoft would have given us a key to do that.
Yeah, my Comanche does the same thing. It's got not only headphones, but it also has a noise canceling switch on the headphones, so you can go 2 levels lower.
Oh yeah, because there are times some of these aircraft, and I guess the Comanche might have been one that it was probably noisy in the cockpit. You kind of needed it. But even on these Discord flights, just because we've got everybody talking, if you're flying in a real noisy cockpit, it's hard to hear everybody. So sometimes, I'll go to the noise canceling setting on certain airplanes. Not all of them are that bad. I don't think I'm not using it right. The 208's never been that noisy for me, but some are.
Yeah, and that Skymaster, it was the first airplane, GA airplane that I had that had a real radar in it that worked. All the doors open and close, and pretty much most of the systems are modeled.
Right. Yeah, it's not a bad price for that twin. I think it's a $20. I think they've got it for $20, which it's not bad in the overall. So most airplanes, in fact, some cases I've paid many times more. Obviously, you did as well with the Comanche, but the Comanches and the Just Flights, some of the Just Flight Pipers are very expensive as well. But they really are. They're wonderful, nice airplanes. They really are.
Yep, I stopped worrying about it because the hours I spend in the sim, you know, that value comes. I mean, the price of owning those things come down. The more you use it, and the longer you fly it. As far as entertainment goes, it's one of the cheaper things I do.
In the next few weeks, I'm gonna actually roll my clock past 3,000 hours, but I know I've been there for a while. It's just that I flew occasionally with developer mode on for a while. I used to use it to change aircraft all the time, but I finally gotten to the point where I try to keep my log. And by the way, did they ever fix your log, Triton, or has it always been busted?
No, they fixed it a couple updates back, I think. Finally, you know, of course, I went for more than a year without a logbook running. I've got over 2,000, about 2,300 hours now logged in the sim, but
right,
I'm way over.
You're probably well over that too.
Yeah, I'm well over that 3,000. I'd probably think I'm close to 4,000 hours, to be honest, since I bought the sim. Like, I spend a lot of time in it.
We've got ILSs up here at Port Moresby. We're kind of coming up at, and by the way, what you might want to look at, don't just land right away. Either that or have a look around. If you're early for the flight for next week, come early and fly around. Fly to the coast. We've actually got 5 POIs here. Most of them are right over on the water near the airport, so you might want to have a look at the buildings and stuff down here. Let's see, what are these POIs? What do we have? Let's see if I can. One of them is just for a settlement, which is Porporena, and they call it Stilt Village, and it is photogrammetry. You've got Sir Hubert Stadium. You've got something they call the Noble Center, which is on the there's a peninsula out here which goes over the water. The Noble Center is there, and something they call the APEC House. So there are some handcrafted buildings you might want to have a look at down here. The runway elevation down here is 116 feet. I got to bleed off elevation. Get down so I get around these clouds so I can see.
I bled it off too early. Now I'm behind this last red ridge. And I'm listening to 500.
Yeah.
That's what I get for looking at the scenery instead of paying attention.
You know, that's what you really want to do that here, though. That's the whole idea with these flights, and I wish I could persuade more of the airliner guys, get out of the airliners, because they never see any of this stuff.
They see the tops of clouds.
And you know what they're doing, which I never really understand.
It's a fantastic view coming over.
They're paying for third-party airports because they want a fancy London airport, they want Istanbul, they want Madrid, they want fancy handcrafted airports, but yet they don't look at any of the POIs that Microsoft has. They don't know what they're missing.
Well, I just crossed that ridge coming into the valley towards Port Moresby. That's a great view coming in.
Yeah, it looks like most of the POIs are down by the water. Now I see there's something, actually there are 6 POIs up here because I don't have airport POIs on, but I do have landmarks. There's a building, a white building with like a turquoise roof on it, which is right off on the, what side of town are we looking at? I gotta look at my compass, figure out what direction that is.
That's such a cool
Well, kind
view.
of off on the right side of town. There are 2 POIs up there. One of them is like a turquoise color white building. Well, what's the other? I can get off of my autopilot. The other one I can't tell yet. The stadium may be, actually I can look at the names on, what is it? Oh, that's the New Guinea Parliament. The New Guinea Parliament House is up here, and there's something else in the area. The Parliament looks like it's got like a turquoise colored roof on it. And then go over by the water and fly along the water, and I believe this also is photogrammetry up here, maybe, or is it? It might not be photogrammetry. Sometimes they do, sometimes you never know. You know, Microsoft does different things to us. The airport is not custom. It looks kind of nice, but it's not custom.
Yeah, Port Moresby, I think that's the tower that Missionary Pilot's always talking to in one of his shows.
Yeah, I think he's based out of here. I think you're right. I think this is where, and he must get phone calls or something and says, I need you on a given day or something, and he'll have to go there. Yeah, there's this green colored Parliament building, and what else is over here? Is that the stadium? I'm not close enough to see it yet.
Yeah, that Missionary Bush pilot, he had left from over here for a while. I think he came back to the States or something, and now he's back in Papua New Guinea again. I don't know if he missed it or what. But
They may have needed him really badly.
But you're right, he does some great videos. Really well done, put together, and very informative as well.
Oh, this must be the Parliament building with all the flags in front of it and stuff. I had not seen this one. This is the first time I've
Really
looked
nice.
at this building. That's pretty nice.
National Parliament House, Port Moresby.
They did a good job on it.
Big green roof.
Yep, I see the green roof now, so I'm going to fly by and see it.
That other one, not the green roof, but the other one, that is a cool looking building. It's got kind of an open courtyard. It's a very futuristic design.
I see an overpass over a
The
highway.
International Convention Center. Actually, both these buildings are kind of cool. And that probably means I need to go look over at the water too. I want to see what's over there.
Cool.
Yes. The green roof is really cool. It looks like a giant church.
That's a lot of flags in front of that building, isn't it?
Yeah, bunch.
Is it the UN?
It's got enough flags
Well,
to be.
for New Guinea, kinda sorta. It's an international building, yeah.
Oh, National Parliament House.
Well, I want to go see this stilt village. I wonder if this stilt village, if it is handcrafted houses on stilts.
500.
Right behind you.
Yeah, you know what? When I put this flight together, these things didn't exist.
500.
So since I haven't flown this flight in quite a while, it's like it is the first time I've seen this stuff. Those first two, these houses are out on the water. That's interesting.
500.
And right behind it, we got the Noble Center.
Oh, they've done a wonderful this scenery here at Port Moresby, this is cool. I like it. Pretty neat.
This looks like those fancy hotels in Hawaii.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Bora Bora. Is that what you're thinking?
Bora Bora, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. Everybody, yeah, these look like shacks. They look like different.
Yeah, these are not
These aren't going to be
technically
as expensive.
fancy, but it's still not bad.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to be as expensive to rent, I don't imagine.
Yeah, there's the stadium over there, right next to the port.
That is pretty cool looking, though.
Definitely.
What is this tall building where you just flew by, Carl?
Let's see. I haven't got the name. Oh, what is it? That's the Noble Center.
It looks handcrafted as well. Or
And
is
the
it?
OPEC house is kind of a real short little building. Looks kind of like a shell-like cover on it or something, right down on the water. Yeah, I have to make sure to tell the guys come down here, fly around here before we take off. Because, yeah, you don't want to miss this. This is pretty, they've done a good job here.
There's another one right on the water.
Yeah, that's the OPEC house.
APEC.
APEC house?
APEC. Yeah, there's a ghost in front.
Is that what that is?
House. I found the stadium.
I guess they got so many people that want to live on the water, they started building houses on the water.
I have a feeling it's the other way around.
Or you
Those-
think they were here first?
Water on stilts is probably one of those,
500.
yeah, amphibian towns that survived the upbuild.
Yep, nice little stadium.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe these are people that were making a living fishing and things like that, and
then
living on the
people-
water would have its advantages.
And people invaded by building on the shores.
It might be. I don't know. Could be.
Just a thought.
Anyway, it's really well done because you can see the little piers all the way out to the houses, and on each one of the houses has their own little walkway.
Yeah, it looks like all the rest of the scenery is actually auto-generated, but it's still nice.
It's a neighborhood where it's very hard to cut through the backyards.
Yeah.
There's a soccer field out here, a football field.
500.
Mm-hmm.
This obviously must be one of the things they've added with this Oceania update, I think.
100.
Now I wish they would do the same for places in South America, like Bolivia, Ecuador, Peru, Argentina, the places where we've been down there.
Brooklyn, New
They,
York.
yeah, they. A lot of places need an update.
I'm tired of seeing my house as a crumpled Kit Kat bar wrapper. But there's, so many more people to ply.
Well, it was definitely worth the trip to come to Port Moresby. Definitely. Just the fact that they've got some really cool looking POIs here.
Yep. Another great flight there, Carl. Appreciate it very much. Enjoyed it. I'm going to go land over at the airport now. And
Yeah, so this one was interesting, and the next week will be historical.
Salute all the flags at the convention center as I go by. My hand's going to be very tired.
And this will get us out of Darkstar mode for the next few weeks.
500.
Give us some different experiences. And if we wanted to, I could throw in one more Darkstar flight if we wanted to use it to leave here, for as far as leaving New Guinea and getting us back over to the I guess you would call it Asia side.
We want to.
Maybe I'll throw one in. We'll see when we get there. Actually, I almost thought about just doing a time travel jump and just warping us out, but it might be fun to go ahead and use one more, because we're going to have to get, after we're done here, we're going to go from New Guinea back to Vietnam. Maybe I'll throw a Darkstar flight in there.
Haven't done a Harrison Ford in a long time.
This
I
is
better
a
get
good
off
place for it.
better get off the taxiway then, huh?
Don't trust me to go around, huh? Okay, be like that. I didn't even hear my wheels touch down.
Ooh, that's too soft. The Microsoft guys would tell you that's dangerous. You're supposed to have a certain amount of ground contact.
But
Otherwise they claim you break things.
but I also have 5 passengers named Karen, so the hell with ATC. Yes, this is definitely a great flight, Carl. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thanks for coming along and enjoying the